Hello, and welcome to Find by Ethan McKellar. Today's subject is infrastructure spending. Infrastructure spending is most basically the spending on the United States airports, highways, waterways, communications, and technology systems. The departments that overshadow this are the Department of Transportation, Department of Energy, Department of Housing and Urban Development, and other small projects. The spending for this subject is rather minor as it gets federal funding from between 50 to $100 billion. The subject is the spending for this system is largely state budgeted though, which varies between 300 to $350 billion on average. The money goes towards to improving our interstate system whenever it's invested through the federal government. Construction, all this money usually goes into construction jobs or electrician jobs. This spending has a direct effect on our job market. These in, these projects allow for more social problems to be solved and can prevent or even slow crime. In a couple decades, we have realized the importance for that very reason. Construction has been one of the answers for dragging ourselves out of debt. These small, which include bridges for public parks and public areas, and even large projects such as interstate highways that run from Mississippi to South Dakota, from Maine to Florida, from and interconnecting the east to west. These roads and systems are what connects us from all around. All of this goes into infrastructure spending and directly affects the construction job market. The more infrastructure, the more infrastructure means the more construction jobs there are. Right. In the 1950s, Eisenhower started this interstate system that allowed large cities to to be connected between vast amounts of space, cutting across lands that we never done before. And one of the main functions for infrastructure outside of construction is upkeep. These roads are rapidly deteriorating with time and need to be fixed every now and then, or even expanded, broken down, divided, updated, whatever helps the American people the most. It's always changing, it's always being updated, and it's rather it's becoming more and more optimized for commerce and travel. This spending affects a lot of this kind of stuff. Road construction is probably one of the most prominent views of this. That pothole that you hit every day going to work, that's your infrastructure spending. More money going into those kind of things can save pain for many people, and it's just not construction, as it's other stuff as well. The US power grid is probably one of the most complex and awe-inspiring things ever. It covers the majority of the United States, cutting through land and cities to provide power to all Americans throughout the nation, taking power from as simple as a nuclear reactor or a coal power plant to you at home. The main upkeep of the power grid is probably the biggest portion of the power grid. We have to continuously spend money on this system in order there be any kind of damage from accidents, weather, age. Upkeep saves many lives every day. The power goes down in a hospital many times in a year, but it's all being generated by the power grid. If it goes down, it could mean medicine is becomes expired. It could mean that loss of life because people depend on that energy, and it powers our economy because majority of our money is actually digital. Thus, if this entire system were to be wiped out, our US economy would collapse, lives would be lost, and diseases would run rampant. This one system that some take for granted, it's rather important that we keep it protected and up at all times. Now, one of the problems is that these two grandiose things are funded through states over the nation. Whenever you're paying 300 to 50 billion, that doesn't make sense. You're paying 6 to 1. That doesn't make sense when it has a bigger impact than what there should be. We're evolving as a country, and we need to be protecting this much more than we are. It could mean the end of our economy, it could mean the end of life. It just has too big of a recoil that we just can't ignore. By putting more money, we create jobs. We create stronger infrastructure. And we strengthen our and we have a stronger commerce. These three things are very important for the future of the United States. And we just cannot ignore this. Infrastructure can aid our economic output and hopefully lead to lower unemployment rates, but we can't run off of hope. A stronger infrastructure could help our international and interstate trade and lead to a more available service sector. Without this sector and government, we could be in complete darkness and be left in economic turmoil as businesses would be left to their local areas for resources and commerce. We cannot leave ourselves in the possibility of an economic wipe. We have to do something. Infrastructure creates jobs, and it's time to pick up the shovel.